Why am I so excited? Because this is a well-deserved long weekend coming, not just for me, but for everybody out there. And I hope everybody makes the most of it. It's going to be a beautiful weekend, and we all know we all deserve it. And so I'm psyched, but I'm also psyched because we have Payton Smith here, and Payton is one hot new artist that's coming out. He's a singer-songwriter, self-taught guitarist. He landed a slot at one of the smaller stages at CMA Fest in 2018. And let's bring Payton up onto the screen here. He co-wrote a collection of songs for his new self-titled EP out now via Big Machine Records. And thank you so much for being here today.
Lisa, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
This is super great. I love Entertainment Friday. I've had the opportunity to meet so many up-and-coming music stars, and what I'm hearing through the rumor mill is you are the next big thing.
I don't know about that. There's a lot of the next big things out there, but we're definitely excited for the past year, and it's been an exciting year, and we're trying to keep that momentum going. So I appreciate you saying that there.
Sure. Well, so you're 20. When did you start playing guitar?
I started playing guitar. Technically, I picked up guitar at 6. So I literally picked up a guitar at 6, and I was like, oh, I want to do this, and it was just like automatically like this is what I want to do. And then I didn't start learning guitar till I was 10, and my dad taught me 3 chords, and because growing up in my household, there was a lot of country music, and it was a lot of country and rock, and so the term 3 chords and the truth was always thrown around. And so it was like, oh, if I teach my dad was like, if I teach my son 3 chords, then he can play anything. And I could play quite a few songs, but then there were some songs that I realized had more than 3 chords in it. So I had to kind of go learn the rest of the chords, but that's kind of how I got started playing guitar.
So I know this is a party trick that I've done at several Entertainment Fridays where I have an instrument, but I did bring, not mine, the Strata Fendercaster here, and which I'm supposed to be taking really good care of.
That's a good guitar. Take care of that one.
I know. I was literally getting text messages saying, "Don't hurt it." I'm like, "What am I going to do with it?" So you're telling me that there's 3 chords, and I could learn by learning 3 chords.
You can learn. Yes. Some songs. Like literally, "Sweet Home Alabama" is literally. I'll pick up a guitar right here. "Sweet Home Alabama" is literally 3 chords. It's literally like. I don't know if you can see, but anyway, like. So literally the whole time over that is just going. And the whole song is 3 chords, and that's it.
Wow. See, I'll tell you, I'm learning such an amazing appreciation for music. Again, I'm one of those people that just sits and admires, but you need a lot of us, right? In order to do what you do, is the people that can just sit in awe of what you do.
Well, it's a joint effort. It's that especially when you're playing live, I think too. It's all about the energy that you put in. The crowd's going to give it back to you, and it's a cycle. That's what it's all about. It's a cycle of connection. Really, that's what music is all about connection. So yeah, I mean, it's a joint effort. It takes you guys, and it takes us trying to give the energy at the same time.
When
really cool.
When did you start playing live? How old were you?
My first performance ever was at a talent show when I was 11. I was in the middle school cafeteria, and I got a standing ovation from all of the 5th and 6th and 7th graders. And I knew I was hooked. I knew right then. I was just like, okay, this is what I'm going to do the rest of my life. And so that was like the first acoustic performance. And then when I started coming to Nashville, I started playing songwriter rounds and playing acoustic stuff in town. And then about 3 years after being in Nashville, I put together a band. And that's really where things started to sort of, for 3 years in Nashville, I focused on writing, solely just songwriting. And that was it. There was no playing live with a band. There wasn't anything like that. So when I put together a band, that was when it really started finding the energy, and I started finding my sound and finding, okay, this is who I want to be. So I was about 16, 17 when I played my first show with my band. And it was so amazing. Just because I love putting in tons of energy. I grew up watching guys that put in 100%. They always put 100% into their performance.
And who in particular really inspired you?
For me, right off the bat, Keith Urban.
Yeah,
gosh, I mean, such a great, just energetic performer. You know, I mean, he's just an amazing entertainer, and it just does it effortless. You know, it's not forced. It's just amazing what he does. Still to this day, he does it, and it's just amazing to me. So, watching guys like that, and then I think the importance also of just simplicity as well, like John Mayer.
Oh, I love John Mayer.
It's all about the song.
Sure.
You know, it doesn't have to be the energy either. So it's kind of the yin and yang. Like Keith has got a ton of energetic performance energy, and then John's kind of all about singing the song. So for me, I always try to find that perfect balance between those two, you know.
Sure. Someone in our chat just asked if you could get a little louder. Do you think that we can do that easily?
Yeah, I can. Let's make that happen right here. Here we go. Technology, right?
Exactly.
Awesome. There we go. How about now?
I'm hoping that that's better.
Let me know if that's better. Who has that? Eric. There you go.
It sounds like it's not a ton better, but I can hear you okay. Of course, everybody else is hearing you live through YouTube.
Right. That's right. Let me turn it up.
You know, now it sounds maybe because you're closer too.
That might be it.
There you go.
There we go. How about now? That might be better.
All right. So this is what I'm thinking, because everybody is here for you on Friday. They are not here for me. So what I would love is if you could play something for us, and then we'll come back, we'll chat some, and then we'll have you take us out for a weekend.
Yeah, that sounds great. Let's all right. Let's kick it off. Okay. You know, I'm gonna do something a little bit different. So I have I love playing all kinds of instruments. I pretty much have a whole studio. You can't see this is not even half of it, but I have a whole studio in my room. Literally, like, so, but I got this instrument here about a month ago, and I love the way banjo sounds on everything. I think you can stick banjo on a pop record and it just fits, because it's all about the rhythm. You know, it's that. It's all about rhythm, and I love what this instrument does. You can just stick it on anything and it will fit. Maybe not anything, but most of the time it'll work. And so I wrote this song. This is a song on my EP, and we when we were writing this song, there was this banjo in the studio, and we had this little drum machine groove going. It was like doing this, and it was just very vibey. And I picked up the banjo and just started going like. And it just worked. Everything started flowing. And then we were like, oh, now we have to come up with words. So that's the hard part. But anyway, this was the song that kind of fell out of that. So this is called What It Meant to Lose You.
Awesome.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, sometimes, girl, when I look at you, I'm ashamed of the hell that I put you through. Thank God it gave me a shot to win you back. But that time everything got out of hand. Both of us just stopped giving a damn. You gave me more than the finger, walking out like that. Well, girl, you were gone all night. Were you alone all night? I know I started that fight. I don't know what I had to prove. It was a long night. Yeah, I was wrong, alright. Girl, I was up all night, and there was nothing I could do. I didn't know what it meant to love you, till I knew what it meant to lose you. Oh, yeah. Now when I catch you crossing the room, or standing in the sunlight bathing you, I can see that you're the only thing I really need. I can feel the fire coming from the spark. I can feel the love tearing me apart. I can't admit that I'd die if you ever really leave. Girl, you were gone all What it meant to lose you, oh baby.
That was great. That was great. I love this day. So, question for you. How did you connect with your manager, Rob Beckham? Who
Yeah,
is like the guy, right? Like he's the guy to have. Tell us how you connected with him.
I connected with Rob very organically, actually. I've been in Nashville for 4 years. This was after I signed with Big Machine, and I went to drop off. Funny story, actually. I went to drop off not this banjo, but another banjo that I was using in the studio when we were cutting the EP. And I went to go drop it off at a show that somebody was playing, and and Rob happened to be there. And he was getting away from William Morris. He ran William Morris for a while, which is like the biggest booking agency company.
Right.
And,
Right.
So he left William Morris 6 months prior to me meeting him. And, he said, yeah, I'm starting a management company. And he was very like, I don't know, I was meeting him, he's very like kind of secretive about it. He didn't want to talk too much about it. But then the writer that I had dropped off the banjo to, he's like, man, that guy's going to manage you one day. I was like, okay, interesting. And sure enough, I heard that, he opened up his management company. He was bringing in Brad Paisley and Chris Young. And then it just all happened very organically. Then we went to lunch, and then he just believed in what I was doing, and it just felt right. It just felt like a good partnership. And so we just had a lot of the same visions. And I love working with somebody who will go to war for you, and Rob will definitely go to war for me. So I love working with Rob. It's a good dude.
Well, I firmly believe that happened organically because you had a level of talent. You were out there, and that part of the reason it happened organically, right? Because you knew about your talent.
For sure. It just right place, right time, and really timing. Timing just made the difference because we knew that we were going to have to we were looking for kind of a manager at that point to partner with, but you don't want to go in and jump right into something unless it just feels automatically right. And it was amazing, the timing of all that. So it just...
Well, it's a relationship, right? It's like a marriage.
Yeah. It is. It's a marriage. And so he put together an amazing team. And so we're currently working on a few other exciting things right now, getting back in the studio, hopefully pretty soon.
How exciting. How exciting.
Now,
I'm sure that... I'm sorry. Say that again, Payton.
Oh, no. We were scheduled to be on tour this summer with Chris Young. And so it was my first big tour run across, the amphitheaters and arenas. And it was going to be our first run. And so we don't know if that's happening now. Fingers crossed. Hopefully at some point, I hope that people are... hope that I'm ready to get back out and play for people.
I bet. And what an amazing opportunity. I hear about, drive-ins that are setting up so that people can perform and people can drive in. I'm really hoping that we start working that out because, what's summer without live music? I mean, it just doesn't.
Right. I think that there's a lot of people there's a lot of, I'll be honest, I researched drive-ins 2 days ago and found out there's 330 something across the U.S. There's 330 drive-ins across the U.S. So I think that there's a way that we're going to be able to go and do those kind of things. I think it may even be a cool thing where you stay in that city for 3 or 4 nights, and do kind of a residency thing in that city while you're there, and you have 100, 200 cars come in every night.
Yeah.
And the next night's 100, 200 cars. That way you kind of get everybody in like you would in an amphitheater. You'd fit a good bit of people, obviously not as many, but you stay there for 3 or 4 nights and it works out perfectly. So
in some ways I feel like we're taking it back old school in a lot of ways of different things that we're bringing back. And so maybe this will be a new way of connecting with people. I don't know. So what do you do from a social media standpoint? Is that how you're reaching people right now?
That's the only way. So it's just staying very creative on social media. That's the only way you can connect now. So I'm constantly it's sort of taking a mind shift from, okay, playing live to now, how do we connect on social media? How do we do the best on that, from that angle? How do we make it kind of feel like a live show? So I'm fixing to literally get rid of a bunch of things in my room, set up some, we're going to have some lights up here. I have a whole track rig system where all the tracks off my EP, I can hit a button and all the tracks will play, and I can play along and sing to it. And basically glorified karaoke.
Right.
That's kind of what it's like. But you know, it's just getting creative, really. That's what it's all about. So
sure,
a lot of live things on Instagram and Facebook.
Right. What are your handles, just so that we can have them out there and everybody can go follow you?
Yeah. So Facebook is Payton Smith. Instagram is at the Payton Smith, and Twitter's at the Payton Smith as well.
Easy.
That's something. Yeah. Hopefully really easy. P-A-Y.
That's right. P-A-Y. And do you enjoy performing though? Like, I know some musicians say, I'm performing for a camera, I really prefer a live audience. But others have said, I can be creative and I'm testing things out with my social media audience. What are you finding?
I find that I think it's a mixture of both. I think some days you're like, man, I really miss having that live face-to-face energy. But then you have to remind yourself, well, this is all about music. It's all about connection anyways.
Right.
I mean, that's what it's about. It's just like, if you can play on screen, it may not be the greatest, whatever. It may not be maybe the quality isn't great, but if you're pouring out your heart and soul, I mean, that's what people just want to hear. At the end of the day, it may not be the same, but
I have so many questions for you. So I'm going to try and blow through them. I feel like a little bit of a lightning round.
Okay.
With all those instruments, tell us about all those instruments too. I didn't realize you had all those. I love that you pulled that banjo in.
Yeah.
What do we need to know about your instruments in your collection?
Oh gosh. Well, as you can see, you'll be able to see it. There's a ton right here. There's a bunch of guitars. There's a piano here.
You play piano too?
I play a little bit of piano. Yeah. I dabble in piano. I wouldn't call myself a great piano player, but pretty much anything with strings I love. I've got some crazy guitars. It's funny. I have literally I have 16 guitars right now. These are the ones that are kind of in rotation. But so this one's kind of in rotation. This is a crazy looking one, Firebird. It's the kind that Skinner would always play at their shows. So if it's good enough for Skinner, it's good enough for anybody. And then I'm a huge AC/DC fan as well. And the sound of it was so simple, but this is that classic AC/DC style guitar. And I mean, it just sounds awesome. Just even unplugged, it's just it's great. So I have way more than I should.
Yeah. That's how I feel about my shoe collection.
Yeah, I'm getting there too. Actually, that's my new kind of I guess maybe not endeavor, but I've been getting into shoes. My girlfriend recently got me into like finding a lot of different kinds of shoes, and because before I had a lot of boots.
Right.
Probably 10 pairs of boots. Literally, I think I have 10 pairs of boots in my closet right now.
People are paying attention to what you wear on stage and what you're wearing online. So I like your girlfriend. Shoes.
Thank you. I'm glad that you recognize that as well. That's a good thing, because I feel the same way.
I think shoes make or break the outfit, Payton. When you make it big, you're going to say, Lisa Nickerson said, shoes make or break the outfit.
Right? There you go. Shoes make or break it.
I have another question. You said you went to Nashville 4 years ago. So where did you grow up?
I grew up in Houma, Louisiana, which is about an hour southwest of New Orleans. So way down there. I mean, like pretty much as far south as you can get. But I mean, gosh, it was such a great place to grow up. It was right on the coast. Kind of had the best of both worlds. You had to always joke around. In country music, you always hear about people singing about the typical small towns and the dirt roads and everything. We didn't have any dirt roads. It was literally church rock, like oyster roads, ship roads. I mean, so it's funny. It was a great place to grow up because it was you had the swamp, and then you had the marsh, and you had the beach and the Gulf, and it was just a great place to grow up, really,
So did you leave high school to go to Nashville?
I was homeschooled. I was homeschooled the year I'd gone to school from first grade to, or second grade to eighth grade.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess my eighth grade year, I was homeschooled. And then a year after that, I went to Nashville and on a family vacation, believe it or not. I just wanted to go to Nashville. I was just like, let's see where all these records are made. So I went up there and was playing in the hotel lobby because I just loved playing wherever I went.
Right.
I just enjoyed bringing the guitar. I loved entertaining people. So I just sat in the hotel lobby, and there was about, I don't know, there's maybe 40 people in the crowd. I just like that had come up and started listening. And then one of the guys that was listening, had started writing a little bit too. So it was a mixture of covers and originals. But the guy was like, man, I really want to introduce you to a couple people in Nashville. And of course I was just like, let's go. Like, I'm ready. Like, let's go.
And how old were you at this point?
I was 14.
14.
I was 14. Yeah. Yeah. So, so, you know, it's one of those things. Like, I think my parents at that point were like, yeah,
Let's see.
okay.
This is cute.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I think it's funny because my dad would say, you know, it's like, I didn't really quite know anything about, like, I didn't really know, because you know, you grow up in Homer, Louisiana, there's not a lot of people that play guitar or sing. I mean, it's just
right.
In small towns. There's not a ton of people that do that. So you don't really have anything to compare to. So it was kind of, it's funny to hear my parents talk about that, because everybody was like, man, do you actually, I hate talking about myself, but do you actually know how good Payton is? I mean, everybody would go to my parents and be like, I mean, he actually has the potential to be up here and be an artist here in Nashville. And so the next day I went and met with Buddy Cannon, who is Kenny Chesney's producer.
Sure. Just the next day. Well, on vacation.
Yeah, right. It's just all on vacation. And then after that, I just started coming up here and learning how to write, because Buddy was just like, man, I think the first thing I really want to get you to do is just continue to write. So the next 3 years were us coming back and forth as a family. And I have 3 younger brothers. So the whole family would come up here for, like, you know, 3 or 4 days. I would write.
Right.
Go back to Louisiana. And then it just kept getting like, okay, now we're here for a week. Now we're here for 2 weeks. And so eventually it was just like, there was all these signs. And while, you know, 5 years seems like, you know, kind of a short while, it was definitely a rough kind of ups and downs. You know, I mean,
right.
We moved up here 3 years into the process, and it was still very, very hard.
Yeah.
To break through those walls of Nashville. But I think
and in what way? Can you give us some examples of that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, so the first thing is trying to figure out, who do you want to be as an artist?
Mm-hmm.
That seems like such an easy thing to know, but when you're young, it takes you a while. And I don't think I certainly didn't know that at that time. So if anybody asked me any advice on moving to Nashville, I'm going to say, hey, it's going to take you if I would have had anybody tell me, if I could have done it different and had somebody tell me, I would have wished that they would have told me it's going to take you 3 or 4 years to find your sound. And that's just how it is. I mean, it's very rare that you come in to this town and know exactly who you want to be. I think that you have to find that lane.
And how did you do that? How did you drill into that?
Writing, figuring out what I wanted to say, and it took a while to find these songs, because I would want to go write something that was very, you know, like very country, you know, like something like very country, or then maybe I want to write something with a little more groove, you know, like what. And just so it was very much one of those things of like, are you this or that? And it was kind of trying to figure out, how do I mold all of these things into what I want to do? And that takes a second. And that's where you have co-writers, and that's where you have people speaking in. But I always say you want to get the right people in the kitchen. You don't want to get too many cooks in the kitchen. You just want to get the right people in the kitchen. That's kind of, somebody pointed that out to me a few years ago, and that really spoke to me. So that's kind of how I've operated so much, is keeping a very close knit of people that I really trust.
Sure.
When it comes to writing and when it comes to producing, and even on the label, it just felt, signing with Big Machine, it just felt right.
One of my favorite quotes is, "Show me your 5 best friends, and I'll show you your future."
Yeah.
So surround yourself by those best people.
It's very true. It's very true. And I think that you look at artists today, and I think that the people who have stuck with that group, it doesn't matter whether that co-writer has had I never look at how many whatever number ones a writer has had.
Mm-hmm.
Because that doesn't matter at the end of the day. What matters is that connection between you and that person. Are they going to say what you want to say?
Sure.
Are they trying to help you say what you want to say? And that's really the clue to that. So I try not to look at any of those number ones or anything like that.
Well, and what a challenge for artists to do that year after year after year. You think of the artists that have been around for a long time, and they continue to find that connection. And of course, then there's probably the marketing of music and staying relevant and staying up there. And Payton, I could talk to you all day. This has been great, and
I love it. Thank you.
You're really fun and obviously talented. Will you take one more song for us?
Absolutely.
Something really fun to take us into the weekend, then I'll pop back on and we'll send everybody off. That sound good?
You got it. That sounds like a plan.
All right, great.
Here we go. So I'm going to play you guys my brand new single out to country radio. We sent this out to radio back in February, and the response to it has been amazing. It's got over 15 million streams on Spotify. If you haven't heard it, go check it out on Spotify or Apple Music or whatever you like to listen to. But it's been amazing. Watch country radio, embrace this, and I think somebody told me a few weeks ago that was the most added new male on country radio this year, which so grateful. I don't know how that happened, but so grateful for that. So I'm gonna play it for you guys. This is called "Like I Knew You Would," my brand new single. Down to the river, across the railroad tracks, I was playing a cool, you kicking it back like I knew you would. Yeah. Driving me crazy with a melody, like a rhythm of the river, you were rolling with me, like I knew you would. Oh yeah, like I knew you would. One look in your eyes and I can feel forever, and it feels so good. Like the way you look, I can never say never. I'm falling fast, I'm falling hard. Written in the stars, swaying in the dark. You were stealing my heart, like I knew you would. Woo! Hey! With your baby blues, it ain't no surprise. From the first kiss, you had me hypnotized, like I knew you would. You knew I would, baby. You're my angel, as a matter of fact. You took me to heaven and all the way back, like I knew you would. And I knew you would, like I knew you would. One look in your eyes and I can feel forever, and it feels so good. Like the way you look, I can never say never. I'm falling fast, I'm falling hard. Written in the stars, swaying in the dark. You were stealing my heart, like I knew you would. Woo! Yeah, baby, and I knew you would. Oh, here we go, break it down now, come on. Woo! Oh, yeah, oh. Like I knew you would. And I knew you would. Oh, here we go. Like I knew you would. One look in your eyes and I can feel forever, and it feels so good. Like the way you look, I can never say never. I'm falling fast, I'm falling hard. Written in the stars, swaying in the dark. You were stealing my heart, like I knew you would. Woo! Oh yeah, and I knew you would. Oh baby, yeah. And I knew you would. Oh.
Love it. It's funny. When we started doing this, of course, I'm doing this from our house, right? My home office studio.
Yes.
And when my family shows up at the glass doors, they're like, "This is so good." We're playing. That's so fun.
That's awesome.
This was truly great. I want to thank you so much. I look forward to keeping in touch, and I'm going to be posting this all over the place. Everybody on YouTube can see this and follow you. And anything else you want to share with our audience before we jump off?
Just encouragement, guys. I mean, look, and a really big thanks, because I mean, you guys are depending on music a lot to get through this, and as artists, I mean, gosh, I mean, that means the world to us, and it makes us realize how much more music is important to you guys, and it just inspires us. So I just want to encourage you. We'll get back out there really soon.
Yeah.
Live shows are not gone; they will be back, and we're coming back louder and more energetic than ever, and we can't wait to see you guys.
We can't wait to see you either. For everyone who's watching, we hope you join us on Tuesday. We're taking a long weekend, but on Tuesday next week, we are dedicating our week in honor of veterans and of our military, our family members, and those who have fallen. And we look forward to a amazing group of guests next week. We're still confirming a few of the days and who's on what day. So go to nickersoncos.com/LWL and you will see our lineup. You can also be on YouTube, as everybody is confirmed. Well, on YouTube, you can set your reminder to watch them when they go live. So Payton, thank you so much. Everyone, have a great long weekend, and we'll see you next week.